Okay, let's review adding and subtracting fractions that have different denominators. And if you're new to this or you need some more review, I'd recommend another video instead, but this is assuming you know how to do certain things already. And let me give you a quick step-by-step method of doing this. So first, find a common denominator, and then change your fractions so that you have a common denominator for both of them. Then you can simply add them. And you might be done at that point, but I'm going to write the next two steps in green because you might need to do the next two steps. If you've got an improper fraction after adding, you need to convert it to a mixed number. And finally, again, a different color because sometimes you need to do this, sometimes you don't, but finally you would reduce. So let's give it a try, and we're going to look at 3/4 plus 1/2 first. Our common denominator, hopefully you can quickly realize, is going to be 4. And 3/4 stays 3/4. And hopefully you can get to this part in your head by now. But to get 2 to fourths, you multiply by 2/2. So 1/2 in fourths is going to be 2/4. And now we simply add those together. 3/4 plus 2/4 is 5/4. But now, can we convert that to a mixed number? And it's simply going to be 5 divided by 4. But it's really easy. It would be 1 1/4. And you can't reduce that any further, so that your answer there is 1 1/4. And always show your work, but I need to erase this so I have space for some others. Okay, next, 1/4 plus 3/5. If you're not sure what the common denominator is, you can count by 4s and 5s till you find one. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Counting by 4s, count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20. And there's your common denominator, 20ths. So I need both of these into 20ths. So how do we get that? Well, 4 times what is 20? That would be 5/5. So what's 1 times 5 at the top? There it is. And 5 times what would give us 20? It would be 5 times 4. So we multiply this one times 4/4, and that's going to give us 12/20. And now we have 17/20. 17 is a prime number. I can't divide it by anything. So, and 20 can't be divided by 17, so I'm finished. It's not an improper fraction, and that's it. Alright, next, 3/4 plus 2/3. And again, some of you will be getting this part quickly, but your common denominator is 12ths. And how do I get 4ths into 12ths? Well, I multiply by 3/3. So the top part here is going to be 9. How do I get thirds into 12ths? Well, multiply by 4/4. And then I've got 8. And now that's going to give me, when I add, 17/12ths. Now I need to turn it into a mixed number because I've got an improper fraction. So just like we did for 5/4, it's going to be 17 divided by 12. And let me just give myself some space for this. Okay, 17 divided by 12. For these, it's always going to be 1 because we're just dealing with 2 proper fractions. So the answer is going to be 1 5/12, because this goes as the numerator on top of that. So the answer is 1 5/12. Okay, let's do a couple more here. 1/4 plus 5/10. Common denominator is going to be 20. And 5/10 is same as a half, right? So I just know that's going to be 10/20, because it's also a half, double this, double that. 1/4 and 20ths, well, let's see. 4 times what gives me 20? The answer is 5/5. So the top part is 5 here. And now, when I add those, I have 15/20ths. But again, we're reducing. So both of those are divisible by something. What can you divide both of these numbers by? And the answer is 5. So if we divide it by 5/5, it's going to give us 3/4. And that's my final answer. And how about we'll do one more. Let's see. Let's do this one down here, because I know this is going to be more than one. So we'll need to do the mixed number trick again. So 4/10 plus 3/5. Our common denominator is tenths. So 4/10 remains the same. And here, we need to double this 5. So that's 2/2. I'm going to multiply. And we have 6/10. Oh, and how about that? The answer is 10/10. So it is an improper fraction. I didn't even know this was going to happen. But the improper fraction is 1, because when the numerator and denominator are the same, it is one whole piece. So the answer to number 7 is 1, which is equal to 10/10. Okay, that's good for today. Again, this is adding fractions, different denominators. Just remember, these are your steps for the other ones. And hopefully, you're getting the hang of this after some practice. Thank you. Goodbye.